Namaste and welcome everyone. So our practice today, we're going to continue. We had Trans Day of Visibility this week. And for me, it's never just about one day. So I thought I'd invite that energy back into our practice today. So our practice today, we're going to be harmonizing with our throat chakra, the Vishuddha chakra. So last time we worked on the Manipur chakra here at the solar plexus, which is the seat of fire transformation. And this is where our identity, our perception of ourself sits. With the Vishuddha chakra at the throat here, where the voice is, this is where we speak our truth, we express our authenticity, our true nature. So we're bringing up from here our identity and then giving voice, expression, vision to our identity, so that not only how we see ourselves, but how do others see us, and how can we shape that, and how can we all be open to listening and hearing the voices of those who are seeking to claim their space, express their identity. And so we're going to be working with the Vishuddha chakra energy today. It's connected to the element of space, Akash. So in space, there are no boundaries, there are no limitations. It is unlimited potential, limitless potentiality. So therefore, our understanding, our listening, our ways of expressing ourselves are also limitless. The mudra that we're going to use today is the Vishuddha chakra mudra. So taking both your palms and interlacing all of your fingers together so that your fingers are on the inside. And then sort of curve your wrists in and bring your thumbs to touch. So you create what looks like a circle here. So you can see all of my fingers are weaved in between each other, and then I've created a circle. And then you can rest that in your lap. You may be sitting on a block, a cushion, a folded blanket to help you sustain this seat. And now that we've prepared with our mudra, we can begin to turn our awareness inward by closing your eyes or gazing softly down towards the earth. We're withdrawing our senses from the external and bringing our awareness to the internal. And start by noticing your breath. Breath awareness helps to drop us into the self. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath. The ebb and flow, the in and out. The Vishuddha chakra at the throat is an energy center connected to communication, expression. And through this authentic, truthful expression, we are able to find calm, peace, serenity. You're able to approach others from that sense of calm, of serenity, of deep listening, deep empathy, deep understanding, so that we may be embracing, inclusive, welcoming the circle itself, which is represented at the throat chakra, a blue circle, blue to represent harmony, the sky above, the limitless, beyond boundaries, circle which embraces all without separation. The throat chakra is connected to a sense, the tanmatra of sound, of hearing, both spoken from self and spoken by others. The vibrational bija or the vibrational seed sound is hum. And the breath most commonly associated with this, the pranayam, is Brahmari pranayam, honeybee breath, that buzzing, humming sound. So we'll practice that 3 rounds. With our Brahmari breath, we're inhaling, exhaling through the nose, but we softly part our lips and we make a buzzing or humming sound that we can either feel at the back of our throat. Vibrational resonance will be felt emanating from our throat into our head, perhaps into our chest. So inhaling and then exhaling, making a humming or buzzing sound. The breath comes out through the nose. Let's take a full breath in. It's a sound that babies often make when they're falling asleep, or you may hear the purring of a kitten. Inhale, exhale, Brahmari. And even if my sound cuts out, this is an even low tone. Take a full breath in. So you can hear the resonance, the way it's impacting on my speaker even. The sound vibration pulsates out from the throat center. Let's open our practice by chanting Om 3 times, bringing your hands together in Namaskar at the heart. Inhale fully to prepare. Om. 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 Hands together at the eyebrow center. Namaste and welcome, yogis. Thank you for joining me today. So we've come into our, we know that we're working with the energy of the Vishuddha chakra, this vortex of energy, which helps to move the energy through our body. And each time the energy moves through a different chakra, it activates or stimulates all of the qualities associated with that energy center. So we're focusing today on the throat. And perhaps it helps you to visualize a blue circle, drops of honey at the throat. And to remember your mantra, it's Om Jana. Om Jana. And that means to speak and to be heard. Om Jana. Om Jana. Om Jana. And you can create your own affirmation around that concept of listening to one's own truth, expressing one's own truth, and listening to the truth of others from a place of compassion. A truth that doesn't cause harm to others. A truth that may challenge others, but doesn't cause harm. Let's start by working on our neck. So let's do a little neck release here. So let's drop our left ear towards our left shoulder. Take a moment here. Reach out with your right arm. Have it slightly angled, and you can take your left hand to the outside of your right side of your head. Take a moment here. And you should be able to feel an extension on the right side of your neck. So adjust the angle of that right arm. That will add, the weight of that arm will add a little bit more extension to the neck. One breath here. Now, keeping your head where it is, let's bend the right arm behind us and take hold of the left elbow with the right arm. Again, you're extending there on the right side of the neck. Take a moment there. And now return to center. Release your elbow. Let's drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. And again, you can reach out with your left arm. Take your right hand to the left ear. And adjust the angle of that left arm until you find a point where it feels quite heavy. Breathing into the throat, perhaps connecting with the Bharamri breath at any point that you wish. Or Ujjayi breath. And Ujjayi breath is that ocean sounding breath. Sounds like when you bring the shell, a seashell up to your ear. Leaving your right ear where it is, let's release. Let's take the left arm behind us and reach for the right elbow. One more breath here. And then let's bring that head back to center very slowly. Take a moment here, and then let's turn to look over to the left. Let's turn to look over to the right. Back to center, let's look down by tucking in the chin. And then let's lift our gaze up towards the ceiling or the sky here. And bring your lips together so you feel an extension in your throat. You'll notice that your voice, if you were to speak, your voice would change. And then back to neutral. Take a moment here. Maybe you do this for a gentle half turn wrong way, then the other way. Let's shrug the shoulders up and over in both directions. And if you've gone back, come forward. And take a moment here. Let's open out the arms. We're going to come into coherent breath here. Your Akash Mudra, so this two-handed mudra. So when we want to extend our arms, let's do the Akash Mudra, which is a thumb to the index finger, thumb to middle finger. That's the element of space resting in that middle finger. So we're bringing fire and space together. So when we're with both hands, we can do the Vishuddha Chakra Mudra. When we're single-handed, we can do the Akash Mudra. Take a moment, we're going to do 2 rounds of coherent breathing. So as you inhale, let's count for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your arms up and hold the breath in for the count of 2, 1. Exhale down, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a moment there. Hold the breath out for 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 4, 2, 1. Exhale for 6 this time. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. 2, 1. Inhale last time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in. 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. 2, 1. Now let's cross our arms at the elbows. I've done my left arm over my right, so left arm over right elbow. And then bring the backs of your hands together, or bring your hands to your shoulder, whatever feels comfortable for you. You can also wrap your right fingers onto your left palm. So we're coming into eagle arms, Garudasana arms. So I'll turn sideways so you can see what it looks like from the side. And then lift your elbows. If you've got your backs of hands together or your fingertips on palms, if you've got your hands on your shoulders. Garudasana. Exhaling here. Let's take one breath. And as you exhale, fold forward, tucking your chin. Be here for the count of 3 breaths. Engage your core. Inhale. Keep rising, lifting your eyes, lifting your gaze, lifting your hands up towards the sky. Let's hold here for 3. Exhaling, tucking your chin, folding forward. Holding 3 once you reach the earth. Keep breathing, but do 3 rounds here. And engage your core. Let's rise up. Lifting your gaze. 1 final round here with the left arm on top. Down towards the earth. Om Jana, I speak my truth. I listen to the truth of others with respect and compassion. Inhale to rise up. And then back to neutral. Take a moment here. Uncross your arms, hug in your shoulders. So really take your hands behind you, give yourself a little hug, tucking your chin. And then let's open out our arms to the sides. And we're going to recross the other way. So this time, let's take our right arm over our left arm. And again, backs of hands on shoulders, or wrap your left fingertips on your right palm. Lift your elbows so they're parallel to your shoulders. Take a moment, and as you exhale, tuck your chin in and come down towards the earth. Inhale, let's look up, and again, hold here for 3 breaths with your fingers and your gaze lifted. And keep having that Ujjayi breath, where you constrict the back of your throat and you're making the sound of the ocean. Exhaling, and then holding there for 3. You carry on even if I stop to talk and I lose count. You maintain your own count. Inhaling to rise up. And final round. Exhaling to fold. Your chin is tucked in. Inhale to rise up. And then back to neutral. Open out your arms, open them wide. You might want to rotate your wrists one way, then the other way. And then let's come onto our hands and knees. Come onto all 4s here. Move your block, your cushion. So we're going to come into our round of cat-cow, Majriyasana, Bitlyasana. Spread your fingers. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Hug in your belly button towards your spine. Lift your tailbone, dip your lower back, shine your heart forward, lift your chin, lift your gaze. Cat Majriyasana. Exhaling again, start the movement at the tailbone. Begin to curl the tailbone in, round all the way through the length of your spine, tuck your chin. Cow, Bitlyasana. So let's do this 3 times, moving with your breath. Inhaling to look up in cat, exhaling to look down in cow. Now, I just want to talk about this concept of beyond boundaries, limitless potentiality of expression, of manifestation of being. So in ancient yogic philosophy, going back even to the Kama Sutra, over 2,000 years, something like that. The concept of binary male, female, masculine, feminine was already beginning to be explored as beyond that. So when we think about the first yogi, Shiva, Shiva manifests not only as the deity associated with what we classically call masculine or traditionally called masculine, but also manifests as what we classically call feminine. But this actually refers to energy, not gender in any way. And the energy is because of the limitations on our language and our ability to understand. The energy is said to be consciousness and the sparking energy. So you would have got to your third one here. Purusha and Prakriti. Come in here. Purusha is consciousness, which is inert energy, and Shakti or Prakriti is the energy that gives spark, makes things happen, the creative spark. And it is this energy that we all contain. And it's often been epitomized as masculine or feminine, but it actually isn't. It's simply energy, a way of describing energy. Let's take a moment here. Come down onto your forearms. We're going to come into melting heart, Anahatasana. You might need to walk your knees back slightly to give yourself some space. Now, you can fold in one arm and extend one arm long. Or you can extend both arms long and bring your eyebrow center down towards the earth. Or onto a cushion. Now, your lower back will dip, your tailbone is lifted here. It can feel too intense having both arms extended, so choose to have one arm extended and one arm folded, because I will give you a reminder to extend the other arm, so you have an option of doing both. So when we think about energy, this universal energy, it manifests in different forms. And these forms are beyond human understanding. They're beyond the way that we can describe them. And so these forms of energy that circulate vary and express themselves and manifest in many ways. So Purusha and Prakriti are what we classically call Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and activating energy, which come together and cause a spark. And then that is where the manifestation takes place. If you have one arm extended, fold it in, and then re-extend the other arm. And here I invite you to take Brahmari breath, this honeybee breath, inhaling through your nose and making a buzzing sound as you release the breath. So when we think about these binaries that we have today, these sort of gender essentialisms, these are a human concept. These are created by man to serve political, societal means of structuring our societies, of allocating power, of withholding power. But these are simplified flaws of language, simplified flaws of human understanding. And ancient wisdom recognizes two-spirit or without boundary spirits. In India, there's a tradition of the Kinnar form, often known as the Hijra community, celebrated by those who are spiritually aware or have faith-based traditions, marginalized and oppressed by those who move away from their faith traditions, compassionate understandings. Inhaling, folding in both arms if they're extended. Take a moment here and sit back with your heels on your sit bones on your heels. And you might have your hands folded underneath your eyebrow center. If you wish to release the arms a little bit, take them alongside your palms face up. One breath here. Now we're going to move into a series of back bends. So let's slide our hands forward and come into Sphinx pose or Salamba Bhujangasana. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. If this feels too intense for your lower back, take your elbows further away, wider than your mat, wider. This will ease off the extension in that lower back where you feel the tension, lifting your crown. Now your hands can be flat on the earth, or you can create your mudra here, your Vishuddha Chakra mudra. So interlace your fingers in towards the palm, threading them and creating a web, and then thumbs come together. Press your big toes into the mat. Om Jana. Another mantra that I'm going to share with you today is Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir. Gamaya. Mrichoma Amritam Gamaya. One breath here. Now I'm going to invite you to lift your gaze up towards the sky. Extend your throat and let's make a Brahmari breath here. Honeybee breath. Inhale fully. Tuck your throat. Tuck your chin into your throat and let's make a Brahmari breath here. Notice the change of quality of breath. Release your Vishuddha Chakra mudra. Bring your eyebrows center towards the earth. Reach your hands behind your back. Let's lift our right leg off the earth. Lower the right. Let's lift the left leg off the earth. Lower the left. Let's lift both legs off the earth. Or stick with one leg at a time. Let's lower them to the earth. Now let's lift the right arm and the right leg off the earth. Palms can be face down or face up, depending on what you want. You can take hold of your thumb. Your thumb and middle finger can be connected in Akash Mudra, space element mudra. Exhale, lower. Let's lift the left leg and left arm. Lower that. Now we're going to lift both legs and both arms. If it feels too intense, you can either choose to lift your arms together and then lift your legs together, or you can choose to lift one side leg and arm and then the other side. You take your time here and choose the option that works for you. Inhale, lift. Keep your eyebrows centered to the earth for the moment. If you have one lifted, swap over. Exhale, lower everything to the earth. Take a moment, perhaps you sway out your hips. This time we're going to invite our head to join the party by lifting our head. Again, you can do the combination of arms and legs that works for you. Inhale fully to rise up. Salabhasana locust pose. Keep lifting. And when you want to swap over. One more breath. Exhale, lower. Bring your right ear to the mat. Oh, and soften all the way through your lower back, through your body. Let's make a honeybee breath here, Brahmari breath. Inhale fully, exhale, Brahmari. Turn your head the other way, left ear to the mat. Again, let's make a Brahmari breath here. Bring your hands alongside your shoulders, tuck your toes. Let's lift up, go all the way back. In an extended child's pose here. This will release the lower back. And then let's rise up onto our knees. We're going to come into camel pose, Ustrasana. So here you're going to move with, if you want to pad your knees with a blanket. You can also place your feet on a blanket or blocks. Let me just put that block there. You can bring your heels closer to your hands. You can also tuck your toes. So that's an option for you. Let's align the hips above the knees. Find something to gaze at on the horizon there. I'm going to move my block because it doesn't quite work for me, but you keep it if it works for you. Let's bring our hands into our Vishuddha Mudra. So remember, interlace all your fingers in towards the palms and then circle by creating the thumb to bring in the tips of the thumb together. Take a moment here. Om Jana. Om Jana, I speak. I am heard. My truth is seen, is witnessed, is understood with empathy and compassion. I listen to the stories of others. I see them for who they are. I see them. I hear them. I see you. I hear you. Take a moment. Now let's bring our hands to our lower back, supporting our lower back. Draw your shoulder blades in towards each other. Draw your elbows in towards each other. Slightly lift your gaze and lift your gaze to the point where the ceiling meets the wall. And that still leaves you plenty of space at the back of the neck. Now we're going to do one arm at a time. If you are a practiced, seasoned yogi, you can go into your variation of Ustrasana immediately. Otherwise, let's reach for the right heel with the right fingertips. So your toes can be tucked, your feet can be on blocks. If your hands don't quite reach, just reach back towards them. Keep your hips above your knees. Keep supporting your lower back. So I like to start off with my toes tucked because I feel quite stiff at the start. Take a moment here. Keep lifting your gaze. And then let's bring that right hand back to the hip. Let's reach back with the left fingertips towards the heel. Breathing here, then come back. So for all of us, we'll be in different places. Some of us will have a lot of mobility in our spine. Some of us will have less, simply because of the way that our bones are stacked on top of each other, or kind of, you know, just the stories that we all have individually. Our bones, our bodies are very different. Now we're going to reach back with both hands, only if it feels comfortable. And then see how it feels, or just stick with the one arm variation. Toes tucked or untucked. Take a full breath in, draw the shoulder blades together. Lengthen the sternum, the breastbone. And then reach back when you're ready. Keep your chin parallel to the earth or lift it up. Yogi's choice. And when you're ready, if you feel like ready, you can untuck your toes. One more breath here. To come back, support your lower back first. Come to neutral. Very carefully, you'll notice how slowly I move to protect my back. Bring your hands to the earth to scaffold, tuck your toes. The top of the crown comes to the earth. I'm not putting any weight on my head. I'm just resting the top of my head on the earth. I'm supporting myself with my hands. And even when I reach back for my heels in hare pose, I do not put any weight on my head. I'm holding myself here. And then you can round deeply through your upper back. This will really create space in the lower back. Shashangasana hare pose. One full breath here. Let's take a Brahmari. Release your hands. Come to table. Take a moment here. Sway your hips from left to right. And then let's rise up in mountain. So spread, take your hands slightly forward. Lift your tailbone. Coming into your mountain. Walk your feet. And then when you're ready, you can come into your still mountain, Parvatasana. Full breath here. Now shift your weight into your left leg, bend into your right knee. We're going to step forward with the right foot. So keep your left knee lifted and step forward with your right foot. You can take your foot wide and then shuffle it in. Stay here on the ball of your left foot for a moment. Take a moment and then let's rise up. Let's bring your hands into your Vishuddha Chakra Mudra here. Now, if it feels like too much to have your left knee lifted, you can always bring your left knee down towards the yogi's choice. Inhale, reach your hands above your crown. So you have your mudra here. Take a full breath here. Exhale, release your hands behind your back, interlace them again into your mudra behind you. So I've still got my Vishuddha mudra there behind my back. Drawing my shoulder blades together, sinking even deeper into my right hip, extending out through my left here. One breath here. Release your hands. Take your hands to the back of your head, cup your skull, and open out your elbows. Lift your chin. So now, as if you're holding your head in the hammock of your hands here. One breath more. And then let's bring our hands slowly to the earth. Step forward with that left foot to meet the right. Forward fold here. Take a moment. Unfold your spine one vertebrae at a time to come to standing in mountain, Tadasana. Come into your mudra as usual, Vishuddha Chakra Mudra. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, bend into your knees, come down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins or thighs or fingertips on earth, yogi's choice. Exhale, fold. Step back with the right leg long. Stay on the ball of that foot. Inhale to rise up. Come into your Vishuddha Chakra Mudra here. And think about how you can move from a place of compassionate listening with empathy to the truth that others express about who they are and how they choose to show up in the world. And whichever identity they choose to show up in the world. Let's reach overhead with our hands. Bend into that left knee. Again, if you wish, you could bring your right knee to the earth if this does not feel comfortable for you. Let's reach behind our back again. Come into your mudra here. So you can see I've got my Vishuddha Chakra mudra here. Draw your hands down, draw your shoulder blades together. Reach out through your right heel. Drop even deeper into that left hip. One more here. I know your legs are working hard. Release your hands, cup the back of your skull with your hammock hands. and gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, lower slowly to the earth with your hands. So we can step back. Should I pull it out? Step the left leg long. Sorry, my mic fell out. Coming into plank. Now you can stay in half plank. You can bring your knees to the earth straight away. Yogi's choice. Take a moment here. Push the earth away with your hands. Everybody bring your knees to the earth. Untuck your toes. Bend into your elbows towards you. And as you do that, push out, lift your tailbone, and bring your chest and chin to the earth. Ashtanga pose, 8-limbed pose. This is a classic pose for the Vishuddha chakra. Slide your knees away. Press into your big toes. Inhale to rise in cobra. And for cobra today, let's turn our head to the left and right. This is called Triak Sphinx or Triak Bhujangasana. And then lower to the earth. Take a moment here. Take a full breath. Bend into both your knees. Lift your toes. And let's reach back with our right hand towards our left ankle. Or reach back. It may be that you don't reach. Your arms are not made out of plasticine, Play-Doh. Reach back for as far as you can go. If you have a belt, you can always loop a belt around your foot. Take a moment here and then lift your head and lift that knee slightly. And then lower it. It'll be very imperceptible. Then reach for your left ankle. Again, let's see if you can lift that knee slightly. Lift your head. Now we're going to lift both knees. Lift our head. Coming into Dhanurasana bow pose. And again, we will all be in very different places here. I don't have much mobility in my spine. Some of us may be like a little ball. Some of us may be feeling more rigid here. And that's okay. We are where we are. Some of us may be reaching back for our feet. One breath more. Release to the earth. Take a moment. Sway your hips and pelvis. Press into your hands. Through table. Into mountain. Move slowly here. Protecting your back. And sway the hips from left to right. Full breath here. Now we're going to step forward with the left foot. So again, you can reach your leg back and then step forward by bringing your knee in towards your heart. Or you can take your left foot to the outside of your left hand and then shuffle it in towards the middle. Take a moment here and then drop the right foot. So you come into the 45-degree angle with that right foot. Inhale, rise up. Coming into warrior one. Reach overhead with your arms. Exhale, open out into warrior two, Mahavirabhadrasana. Here you can bring your thumb and index connect. Drop your right hand, lift up and over. Perhaps you gaze up here. So usually we gaze back at our right foot. So this time let's gaze up. Exhale, reach behind you with your mudra here. We're going to fold forward, coming into humble warrior. So take your left shoulder towards your left knee. You can rest your left shoulder on your left thigh, and your crown is reaching forward. I'll turn around so you can see me. We're coming into humble warrior version here. So tuck in your chin towards your throat. You can be in different places here. You can be halfway. So you can rest here. I don't know if you can see, but my shoulder is resting on my left thigh. Or you can be reaching down towards the earth. One more breath here. I know your legs are working hard today. Building our foundations so that we can speak our truth from a place of foundation, a place of stability. Release your hands, bring them to the earth, pivot on the ball of your right foot. Let's step forward to meet the left foot. Forward fold here, and then unfurl your spine one vertebrae at a time. Come to standing, reach overhead with your hands and your mudra. And we're going to come into swaying tree here, swaying palm tree. This is called Triak Tadasana, left to right. Really releasing for the lower back. Hands come down towards the earth, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, hands on knees, hands on thighs, or shins, yogi's choice. Exhale, fold. Now let's step back with the left leg long. Take a moment here, and then let's rise up in warrior one. Drop that left heel. So that left foot is at a 45-degree angle. There's a bend in the knee. So I started talking to you about the other mantra that I wanted to share with you. It's a healing mantra. And the reason I want to chant a healing mantra is for all of those who have gone unseen, unrecognized. We have a community in India called the Kinnar or Hijra community. And they are often welcomed into homes for blessings. But it's also a community that is ostracized and criminalized and persecuted. And yet there's this dichotomy of them being recognized as a spiritual community led by a guru, and yet also oppressed and marginalized. So we can have these dichotomies where even the most spiritual and religious and faith-based people who are rooted in their own traditions can cause harm. Open out into warrior two. And the mantra for this community, for the Hijra and Kinnar community, or also for those in the West who identify as transgender or non-binary, so that we ourselves can heal our relationships with our community. So those who identify as cisgender, can I heal with those communities that we have hurt or harmed, knowingly or unknowingly? Let's come into Shanti warrior, peaceful warrior, and look up. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrichoma Amritangamaya. It means lead me from untruth to truth. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. And we're going to come into our humble warrior. Release your fingers behind you. Come into your Vishuddha Mudra. Draw your shoulder blades together. As you exhale, begin to reach forward with your crown. And you can rest your right shoulder on your right thigh, crown reaching down. Or you can have your right shoulder on the inside of your right knee and reaching down. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrichoma Amritangamaya. Om. Take a moment here. Release your hands to the earth. Pivot on the ball of that left foot. Let's step back with the right leg long, coming into plank or half plank, Phalakasana or Ardha Phalakasana. Hold for a moment, and then everybody together, knees, untuck your toes, bend into your elbows, chest and chin, Ashtangasana to the earth. Slide your knees away. Take a moment here. Let's bend into our knees and coming into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So remember, you can use half body here. So you can always reach out with your left arm. This is one way of doing it, so you have that stability there. You can lift one side, or you can lift both together, so that you're rocking on your abdomen here. Lift your chin, lift your gaze. And remember, we're all going to be in different places here. We could be reaching back for our ankles. Don't have to be connected to our ankles. You will feel this in your back. Your shoulder blades are drawing together. Your breastbone is lengthening. Your throat is extended. Exhale, lower. Release your ankles. Take a moment. And then let's come through table for a moment. And then into mountain. And be careful here. Move slowly. Pedal your feet. Sway your hips. So here you really feel the benefit of stretching out your back here. Your spine is long here. Very releasing and relieving pose. One breath more. And then let's bring our knees to the mat, as wide as the mat, big toes touch. Bring your hands in between your legs here. And come into Simhasana pose, lion pose. We're going to come into Simhasana Pranayama, lion's breath. So fingers fanned and on the earth. For lion's breath, we poke out our tongue and we make a ha sound out of open mouth. You can even invite a roar in. So this is to honor the fearsomeness and the fierce courage that it takes to go against the norms of society, because those norms of society are incredibly powerful and dominating and punishing for those who are different, who choose to be different, who sometimes have no choice but to be different. Let's take a full breath in. Exhale with a ha through open mouth. Poke out your tongue. You notice I open my eyes wide. So that's where we're going. Let's practice that twice more. Inhale fully. Inhale fully. And bring your knees together. Going to come into into child's pose, Balasana. Arms alongside you, forehead on the earth. Let's soften here. Let's rest in Balasana for a few breaths. Allow the breath to come towards the back of the throat here. Your breath is like drops of honey, so that you may speak your truth, your satya. Our transgender and non-binary, Kinnar and Hijra families all speaking their truth. And it is our responsibility to see, hear, understand that truth. It is for us to do the work to be inclusive and welcoming. Inhaling. Let's rise up from child's pose. Come onto your right hip and extend your legs in front of you. I'm going to move it into bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. So reach forward, engage your core and lower to the earth. When you're on the earth, bring your heels up towards you so you can touch the backs of your heels with your fingers. Bring your elbows alongside you here and then bend into your elbows so that you can use your upper arms as a sort of scaffold here. So you almost got your arms holding your rib cage here, so that as you rise up with your tailbone, you tilt your pelvic ball, you peel your spine off the earth so that the weight shifts into your upper back here. So your hips and pelvis are reaching up. You can have your hands here, so you've got your upper arms supporting the weight as well. Your chin is tucked in. Gaze up towards the sky. Imagine that you have a block between your knees and you're holding that block in place. And if you're ready, you can release your hands and take them underneath you and interlace them into your mudra, your Vishuddha Chakra mudra. You can also shuffle your elbows underneath you, your shoulder blades are coming together. Keep gazing up in Setu Bandhasan bridge pose. If you wish, you can take a Brahmari breath here. Three more breaths here. Keep lifting your hips and pelvis up. One breath more, and then gradually, very slowly, release your back, upper back, middle back, lower back, hips and pelvis, and stay there for a moment to align. So again, we have the option of practicing shoulder stand, half shoulder stand, or legs up the wall. So if you're near a wall, you can always shuffle over to the wall and swing your legs around, and then swing the upper body, pivoting it away from the wall, and have your legs up the wall here. So you could, wherever you are, I'd like you to finish your practice like this today, with your legs up a wall. If you haven't got a wall near you, reach up with your legs. You can have a soft bed in your knees. And find the angle for your legs that feels comfortable. So you don't want to be doing any work with your legs here. Your toes, your feet are relaxed. And you'll find a place where they can just hang out. Now, if you wish to practice shoulder stand, make sure you have lots of space. And moving it with care. We won't be here for long. Tuck in your knees towards your head. Support your lower back with your hands. And then extend your legs here. So you can have your legs sort of reaching up, which is half shoulder stand. So you can be quite close to the floor, like this. Or you can reach up with your legs towards the sky. Take your time and keep gazing up. Don't turn your head from left to right. I only advise you practice Shavasana if you've actually practiced with a teacher in a live class. So I know I have mixed groups here. So there's lots of options. Wherever you are, we're getting the same impact. And if you are in shoulder stand, you can always take your feet overhead, come into plow pose. If your feet touch the earth, you can release your lower back. If your feet don't touch the earth, then keep supporting your lower back. Halasana. So again, we'll be in different places here. Half shoulder stand, legs up the wall, legs up in the air. Perhaps we've reached back for a plow. Wherever you are, if you haven't done legs up the wall, that's where you're going next. If you've done legs up the wall, you can come into a Shavasana. So let's bring our knees in towards our eyebrow center. You're going to unfurl your spine one vertebra at a time. If you're in shoulder stand, make sure your hands are on the earth, your arms along the earth, acting as a brace to uncurl your spine one vertebra at a time. Keep your core engaged. And then that's how you can come into legs up in the air, or you can release them down towards the earth. Yogi's choice here. Take your time. And then when you finish, whether it's legs up the wall, shoulder stand variations, if you went into halasana, come down to the earth. You can have your bend in your knees. That's very good for the lower back. Or you can extend your arms long. I want to keep a bend in my knees today. Bring my knees in towards each other, feet as wide as the mat. This really supports my lower back for me. So you come into a variation where if you felt like your lower back has worked really hard today, and it has, and the reason it's worked hard today is because we've been elongating the space at the front of the throat. It's really opening up the front here, which means that we then end up constricting the back. Take a few breaths here. And only if you're ready, you can come into a seat with me to close the class, or you can stay in your constructive rest pose, your shavasana, your legs up the wall. It's your practice, your expression, yogis. If you're rising up with me, roll onto your side first, and then with helping hands, come up. And I'm going to chant our healing mantra for healing the separations and disconnections we have and the limits that we impose on ourselves and on others, knowing that we have beyond limits potentiality of expression and manifestation. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrichoma Amritam Gamaya. Om. Lead me from the untruth to the truth. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, yogis. Enjoy the rest of your day.